Hey, this is Brad Buckton, sharpensbest.com. We get questions. I had a phone call from Randy, and I think the first time I hung up on him because I thought it was telemarketer. So then I actually answered, and we talked for a while, and this was, I don't know, maybe a week ago. And so then Randy called again today, had a question for me, and it was about, you know, the knives, about putting an edge on it and reshaping it, kind of. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through in slow motion on video for Randy about taking the wire edge off of the blade, because you can sharpen, it'd be pretty sharp, but if you don't take the wire edge off of the blade, the first few things you cut, it'll actually roll that wire edge over a little bit, and then it's actually, in a sense, it's kind of rounded, and then it won't cut like it should, and it won't cut right until you get the wire edge off the blade. So let's sit down here for a minute, use the sharpener, and turn it back up. So let's cut first. I wanted a knife. We pick up more knives at the Goodwill, and this is one of them. And let's do some cutting. Okay, that's not too bad, but if you don't kind of sneak into it, you can't get it to cut right there. And part of the reason I use such thin paper, you can't cheat. It'll push the paper out of the way or something, but it won't slice it unless the knife is really sharp. So I'm going to take this one. I don't demo this one very much. I'm going to take this one off of the key ring here and use it. Okay, we'll just leave the house key on there, and we just take it like this. Okay, actually Randy said that he was reshaping a blade. He wanted to reconstruct, reconfigure the blade to a different angle. And this is 22 degrees in here, inclusive, 10 on each side, 11 on each side. I'm not positive, but I know it's not above 11 or below 10. It's either 10 or 11 on each side, so that gives you 20 or 22 degrees inclusive, both sides added together. So he was saying that he was actually running it through the V-notch to cut some metal off of the blade to get it started, and then he used the straight line open face to turn it up. But he says the knife just isn't as sharp as he thought it ought to be. So we talked for a little while, I explained it, and then I said, you know what, I'll make you a video today. I'll sit out here in the, I don't know, it feels like 28 degrees, and so let's go ahead and run the knife through the V, reconfigure it, reshape it, bring it down to a 20 degree, we're going to call it 20 degrees, 10 on each side, and then I'll tune it up with the straight line open face, take the wire edge off of the blade, and I'm going to show you periodically on the, it's actually Harbor Freight, I mean this is like really flimsy, Harbor Freight advertisements that you can get when you go into the store. You can look for these specials, of course you know what it is. All right, so let's see. I'm going to slide the knife through here. I set it down on the edge of a table, something like that. I don't press too hard. Man, I can feel that cutting. So just like that. No need to press very hard. You don't want to go through this way. You don't want to go through that way. You want to go right straight through, okay? So that you're 90 degrees to this edge coming out. So look at me this way, and not like that. Not like that, right straight up and down, 90 degrees to that, to the side of the blade, okay? I think you understand that. All right, so we're gonna set it down, and we're gonna run it through there, and we're gonna slice a little metal off. Don't press too hard, because it really will cut the blade, and I don't want to rip metal off the blade. I just want to be kind of gentle with it, just like that. All right, so let's see if that's getting better. That is sure not dull. Okay, so let's call it reconfigured. All right, so now I'm going to take the wire edge off the blade. If this knife is parallel to the earth, okay, and that's out here, and that's parallel to the back of the knife, that's parallel to the primary bevel, and that should be parallel to the secondary bevel. So we tip the knife up like this and get comfortable. Slide it along like this. Not much pressure. We're going to touch it really light. Okay, I'm going to hold still. See the little tiny particles of metal sticking out there? That's what came off of the blade. So if you push very hard, you can really pull some metal off the blade. On a cheap knife that needs to be reconfigured, you know, changed and everything, go ahead and rip some metal off, that's okay. And then fix it with the open line straight face, okay? So we're gonna do it on the other side. It's gonna look like this right here, about a 10-degree bevel to the primary bevel. So primary bevel is back here, secondary is out there, okay? So then we're just gonna slide it along, kind of gentle. Right now I'm sort of polishing on the blade. You can come out here to the point, back here. Okay, now when I talked to Randy and I told him that you flip the blade every pass to take the wire edge off the blade, I've actually got a hold of the key and the knife sharpener is just sort of sitting in there. I mean, you can bump it and it'll move. So why do I care? I want to touch the knife as absolutely light as I can touch it. I'm going to touch it about 30 times, 15 on each side, flip the blade, flip the knife every pass on this side, that side, this side, that side, this side, that side, touch it light. And that'll actually, oh, this is too funny. I'm going to hold still, come in here close, and get as close as you need to. All the little, that's too funny. All the little metal particles are stuck together and they're getting strung out. And to me, that's a little on the funny side. So just like this, just like that. Now, if you're not trying to reshape the blade, you would not cut metal off of the blade like that, okay? So just like that. All right, let's see. Nope, just a little more on this side. It really leaves a burr on one side or the other when you run it through the V-notch, so you have to fix it. I'm going to press just a little harder, just like this, and pretty soon we'll check it and see what it's like. If your knife just needs a tune-up and it doesn't really need to be sharpened, do it like I was doing right there at the end. All right, that's hard on elbows. So, what do you want, Cabo? If you can actually catch that flimsy paper, oh, come on, come back in here. I'm teasing it, trying to get a little bit stiffer paper. But anyway, let's work on it just a little bit more. I know I can make them sharper than that. You don't need them sharper than that. Nobody needs a knife that's literally as sharp as a razor blade, even though I think some of my knives are sharper than a razor blade. And the reason I say that is because they don't grab, they don't have the sound, they don't jiggle the paper as it goes through like a razor blade actually does. So just like that. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, Randy, I really hope, watch. See how it's taking the thumbnail off? And I'm barely touching. Randy, I hope that helps. And, you know, a little bit of practice, do it right. Flip the knife every pass, light touch, match the bevel, slide it down the blade, flip it over, slide it down the blade, flip it over, slide it down the blade. Do not go above 10 degrees. Okay, 10 degrees would be about like that. Okay, don't go above that, you'll actually dull your own knife. This is Brad Buckner, sharpensbest.com. Randy, thank you for calling me. Thanks for purchasing the product in the first place. And I think you said you've had it for quite a while and you love the sharpeners, but you're having just a little bit of trouble. So if you have any more trouble, don't hesitate to call. I told you that. You call 425-444-7505. That's my phone number, not just some number. That's my cell phone. This is Brad Buckner. You take care. You stay sharp out there.